the end, I just throw on a shirt and go downstairs. It's not because I've come to some sort of best conclusion in regard to non-romantic clothing choices. It's because I'm supposed to be at Spork's house by a certain time. While I don't want to be hurt and all, I don't want to hurt him either, and I get the feeling that if I'm a no-show, he's not going to understand. My dad's at the breakfast table with tea. This is a good timing. I go straight to the table without getting any food and slump down over the grained wood.
Mo?
Dad, I have got such a headache. Long story short, I wind up giving my dad a rundown of the situation. Dad's a good listener. I mean, that's probably a given with how well he and Mom get along. But he scratches his chin and listens seriously and asks the right questions in the right places. Aw, look at the cutie pie.
Aw. So, my understanding is that your main worry is that something will happen to trigger some sort of relapse?
I don't know if I'd use the medical terms on my own, but I guess so. I mean, it's not like I was ever actually taken to a doctor and diagnosed with depression.
You probably should have gone, honey.
I think.
What do you mean you think?
Things are pretty muddled at points when I think back on the winter.
That'd be pretty noticeable.
I'm worried that if things remind me too much of Kenichi, I'm going to lose some sort of the progress I made at any rate. I really don't want to waste any more time being sick. Dad hears me out and nods seriously.
Do you know if you two have any plans?
I don't think so. Spork's not really the kind of guy that thinks about stuff before jumping into it, as far as I can tell.
Then it won't be. Then it won't be as though as you two were heading out to the city to have gallery viewings, at least, right?
Oh. Come to think of it, yeah. That is what Kenichi and I would do on dates. We were both artists, so we'd go down to the city to look at art. He was into industrial design and logos, and it's not like we had the exact same hobbies, but we had art in common, and so most of what we did together was related to art. And what wasn't directly related to art we would do at school. Maybe part of the reason I was so miserable up through graduation is because I had to keep being in a building where every place had some kind of memory with Kenichi or with Natsuko. Dad probably sees the gears turning in my head because he's smiling.
It's not a bad thing to have survival instincts, Mo. In fact, there's no way that I could criticize you for what you're feeling, because I'm the same, all the time. Sad to say, your dad's always been pretty timid. Without Kilala, I'm sure I would never have been able to work up the courage to publish any short stories, or go out to conventions or book signings to meet with fans and creators of the things I like. And that's because I was always too worried about the height of the diving board I was jumping from. When you're looking down from a high place, that's pretty scary, isn't it? Even if you want to jump, even when jumping this is where she gets all of her talking. Even when jumping is the obvious next step, when you're worried about things like getting ridiculed or causing people trouble, it can seem impossible. In your dad's case, Kilala was there to tell me that it was okay, and when that alone wasn't enough, she pulled me along to dive with her. And once I'd finally made the jump, I realized I just want to eat a Pop-Tart right now. I realized that my own anxiety had just inflated all my worries and fears to be 10 times worse than the reality. Once I was in the pool, I had fun. Mo, you've always been sure of yourself like your mother.
Are you eating the Pop-Tart while you talk?
I am absolutely eating the Pop-Tart while I talk. So even though I can't speak for what you're feeling, I guess it must be extra scary for this to be your first time to deal with these kinds of feelings. Let's just keep it between us, that the two of us, this is what I get for eating the Pop-Tart.
Yep.
Let's just keep it between the two of us, that your dad's actually a little relieved that we have this in common. It's really petty of me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Dad smiles. I wonder why. He's always just seemed so airy and easygoing, so I had no idea that he'd ever felt this way. It's a bad habit of mine. The closer I get to people, the less I try to read into their actions. I just blindly trust what I know of them and the ideas I build up my concepts of them around. That's why what Kenichi and Natsuko did was such a shock. Maybe there were clues there and I was just too trusting or too complacent to see them.
But it sounds to me like your new friend Spork might help you for what Kilala did for me, so I'm glad. Come on, words work. I'm not eating the Pop-Tart right now. Even in the case that something does happen, you just have to say that this is bringing up a bad experience, and you could do something else. If he's as good a friend as you say, if he's as good a friend to you as Shui, he'll try to Shui, shoop de whoop. He'll try to respect your feelings, even if he doesn't fully understand what's going on. That's true.
Yeah. That's a pretty high standard. Still, I can't help but smile. Asking for more than one friend like Shiyu is... Well, given her personality, that'd be overwhelming, first of all.
Nice.
But it's also true that it would feel greedy. Quirks aside, she's just a really good person. Everybody ought to have someone like that, but at the same time, it's more than anybody deserves. I still don't know what, if anything, I did to earn a friendship like that. Shiyu stayed with me all this time, and she got frustrated that she couldn't somehow do even more for my sake, when that alone is enough for me. I don't know anybody else who'd be willing to do that aside from my parents, who are obligated to anyway. Asking for more of that just seems indecent. But man, this man again. I hope that someday I'll be able to thank her properly. My dad, Ryo, smiles.
Ryo, I think.
Yeah. Smiles and strokes my head lightly like I'm still in grade school.
All I can really do is give you a good send-off. So what would you like for breakfast?
My eyes hurt. I love the people around me so much it feels like my heart's going to split open. The hell of it is that my dad really listens to all my selfish requests. I get an omelet and crepes and a little mini waffle and fresh fruit and bacon and coffee for breakfast.
Fuck, now I'm hungry.
Yeah. I got hungry when she was talking about the miso soup. I was like, miso soup.
I could handle the miso soup, but now I'm like, fuck, I want to go to IHOP and get a waffle.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's been ages since I've actually eaten this much first thing in the morning, and rather than feeling even sicker with nerves, my faint nausea goes away once I've eaten. That's amazing. I've never appreciated before that just eating my dad's cooking could do that for me. I really need to set a time aside for those lessons. Someday, I'm going to be leaving this house. I don't think I'll be as good as my dad right away, but knowing his recipes at least will let me take this strength with me even when I'm alone. Be back later.
Yeah, come home safe.
See? Just being able to exchange customary words like that when I leave the house makes me feel stronger. Even little things like that can help build up this tailwind I still need. Today is warm, so as I'm biking, the wind lifts my hair and sends it streaming behind me. It reminds me that this is one of the best sensations in the world. Now this is why I like to keep my hair long.
Thought she said it was because she was vain.
That too.
Mo!
And there he is, waiting outside his house. The city is just like always. You've only known him for 3 days. You can't say like always.
Yeah, it's like, this guy's like always. You've known him for less than a week, honey.
Honestly, that's a relief. I come to a stop and put my bike's kickstand up and check my cell phone. You dummy. I'm early. What are you doing waiting already? He posed and then didn't.
Get a dance.
Spork just shrugs his shoulders and grins. The perfect picture of the young male ingenue?
I don't know. Someone get Ave.
Yeah.
It looks French. Get Ave. Well, there was nothing to do besides wait and check on the flowers.
Shit. I smacked myself with my free hand.
Pose.
I forgot my camera.
Snap.
I was going to take pictures of your garden today for the Hakoniwa site.
Wait until they bloom, bitch. That's okay.
Spork, true to his type, does not seem to mind.
We're off to the You're What? You're off the clock today anyway, so you could just come back anytime tomorrow.
Ugh. I guess there's no helping it. I write a text message to myself so that I won't keep forgetting. By the way, it's true what they say about cell phone reception being a crapshoot in Hokkaido.
Yeah, but couldn't you take pictures with a cell phone?
Right?
Like, even the first cell phones, some of them, or I should say, not some of the first, but some of the early ones had even just shitty cameras, like
pixel cameras.
Yeah. Like, to take pictures with your cell phone.
We have it better in this small town than in the really rural areas, since we at least get service. But if you want an example of how bad it actually is, the first time I went down to Honshu after getting my first phone, I was amazed that it was possible to have full bars in real life, since I'd always assumed that was just TV commercials exaggerating.
How is this relevant?
What the rest of the country has against us, I can't fathom. Like, hey, we're farming all the food you can't get from the ocean. You ought to show us some more respect.
Really? How is this relevant?
Though it's not like I'm from a farming family, or even that this town is focused on agriculture, so I ought to specify that there's a general we there. But I do get texts I send myself. That at least is something that I can do without any trouble. I ought to be thankful that I don't live further north, where it's questionable I'd even be able to use this phone at all.
Then?
Hey. Spork is holding out his helmet with me in expectation. What, we have to take your motorcycle?
Bro, it's too much, bro. But Mo, I think I'm too heavy to ride double on your bicycle, so...
We're going out to play together, so it'd be sad... Oh, that's you.
We're going out to play... Now, here's my thing. She's like, what, 19?
Yes.
I know that it was a while ago. And God, it kills me to say that, but it was a while ago. At 19, I didn't go out to play with friends. I went to hang out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I played with them.
Yeah.
Like, specifically if I was like, oh, I played with my friends, it's because we were doing, like, Guitar Hero or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, this keeps tripping me up every time they're like, well, we're going out to play, and I'm picturing, like, 4-year-olds going to the park.
Yeah.
I mean,
or having
kind
a play date.
Yeah, like, you know, okay, oh, the play date, it's happening, it's cute. Like, the shit that my friend sets up for her 3-year-old. Like, with her cousins and stuff, so, I don't know. We're going out to hang out together, so it'd be too sad if we couldn't reach downtown at the same pace.
I guess this is good enough reasoning. I let my shoulders slump and surrender because even I recognize that this isn't the mountain I ought to stake my last stand on. Have you got any ideas on where to go? When I asked that, Spork's eyes sparkled.
There were some places that I was looking at in town, but I don't know where everything is. But I wanted to try things like eating out, and cafes, and movies, and the park. And really, he is like a demon or something, because how do you not have any... We've got an elementary school kid here.
Yep.
Yup.
That's some deja vu. Well, it's Monday, so I don't know if there'll be a lot of people at the movie theater. Which is good, because there's only one in town. I don't know if there's anything good showing, but we can go see. Oh. Flowers are blooming like pie around this guy's head. What's that saying from overseas? The ingredients to make little girls are sugar and spice and everything nice? Clearly that's not gender limited, because I bet if you took a cross-section of Spork's brain right now, you'd get a slice of rainbow tort with a side of shoujo manga sparkle effects. His reaction honestly seems overblown to me. Has he just not had the chance to do these things before, or is it that he's doing them with a friend for the first time and doesn't know this town? I get the impression that on the way here, Spork has received help from various adults, but that he hasn't had much chance to interact with people his own age. Maybe he's some sort of runway noble or something. Runaway noble.
Demon noble.
It's daughters that rich families lock away from the world. That's why we have the euphemism daughter kept in a box, to mean a sheltered young lady after all. Anyway, I guess that Spork must have had his troubles too, no matter what it is or isn't going on upstairs, no matter whether his scars linger or not. If you want to visit a restaurant and a cafe or whatever, it might be best to just find somewhere to park and window shop around downtown until we find some interesting stores. But I guess that everything depends on what movie you want to see and what time it's at, so it sounds like we should start there. Do you know where you want to go? Or where to go?
More or less.
Spork is still sprouting flowers. Guess we should hurry up and get started then. Maybe I'm just getting used to the noise of motorcycles, but during the ride, the rumble of the engine doesn't intrude on my thoughts too much. Play. We're going out to play. I've had study parties and sleepovers and dates recently, but it's been a long time since I've actually called an outing with a friend playing.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
It suits Spork.
She says so.
If you say so. It's not that he's stupid. He's a quick and serious learner, if a little careless about his own well-being. It's more his curiosity about the world, his lack of shame, his expressiveness, and his lack of common sense that makes me think of him as childlike. It's not a bad thing. It's exhausting, sure. But even that its exhaustion is different from how I have trouble keeping up with Shiu's energy level and rampaging imagination. And Spork's childlike nature makes me feel, if not safe, then more at ease with him than I would be around another guy my age. Because he's like this and doesn't seem to pick up on connotations of romance, it's like I'm running around with an especially genuine and well-behaved 8 or 9-year-old little boy rather than a guy in his late teens or early 20s. That is why we're going out to play rather than going out on a date. And that is why I agreed to take him out on the town instead of turning him down. As I had expected, the theater was mostly empty aside from a few parents taking their very young kids to come see movies. Most of the films that were playing were famous things being rerun, or things that had finally made their way up to Hokkaido after months of playing in southern Japan when they had actually just come out. I tried asking Spork's opinion, but he seemed so amazed by the theater right in front of him that I quickly realized that I ought to steer for now. Luckily enough, there was a famous old animated movie being played in about 10 minutes at the time, and it was one that I'd liked as a kid. I asked Spork if he'd seen it before, and he said no, so I went ahead and bought his tickets. But asking me to pay adult fare for this guy, too, is a little too much. I don't know, that's a bit rude.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are leaving the theater now after about an hour and 40 minutes worth of nostalgia for me and total amazement for Spork. As for what movie we watched, it was the old one about the witch and with the artist block. The subject matter was a comfort to me of the past, in the days when I was not as confident in my ability to make art and design my living. So watching this movie now at 19 with the troubles I have now is a really strange feeling. I'm confident in my ability level. I know that it's not my talent that's the problem. It was the outside world that I was unprepared for. On the other hand, Spork...
I think I understand now.
He's walking ahead of me on the sidewalk, putting one foot in front of the other, slowly and deliberately, with his arms out at his side like an airplane wings. I figured he was just enraptured with the story of the little girl who flew through the sky in the movie, but from the sound of his voice, maybe I was wrong about that.
I understand why Shiu likes this kind of thing so much.
Huh. There's a part of me that wants to correct him. Shiu likes anime for reasons that are both greater than just this and much pettier than this. But at the same time, I guess he's right. Shiu first got into anime and fantasy because of exactly the things that this movie does so well, that it's still chosen to be replayed in small-town theaters like this one during the middle of the day, where little kids can be brought here by the parents. To have their hearts captured for the first time. Maybe to learn something about the world and themselves for the first time. Maybe because this is a movie they've already seen and loved so much that they keep pestering their moms and dads until they've been brought here again for the 10th or 20th or 50th or 100th time. That's like me and Howl's Moving Castle. Anyway, Spork's a lot like those little kids, but... Oh, I don't think that's a bad thing. How to explain it? And there's something elementally familiar just in the arc and curve of his spine as he walks ahead without facing me. I mean, it's because he poses at you so much.
Yeah, it's the posing, honey.
It's something so vital and wordless that my hands itch for a paint and a brush. But I don't have anything to draw with, and I forgot my camera like an idiot, so I don't have anything to preserve this moment of perfectly distilled humanity.
Paint the booty.
Even if I burn it into my mind's eye, it'll fade and disappear.
Paint the booty.
So all I can do is keep watching Spork as he walks. This is a moment that's going to end once he gets bored or finds a new distraction to get excited about. But I have to keep watching without deluding myself that this is a permanent thing. Because even transience is an unchangeable, beautiful, and terrible aspect of human life.
Why is it getting existential?
I mean, it's been kind of existential for the whole time.
Yeah, but this is like extra existential.
Yeah. I think the nostalgia kicked it off.
I think so.
The half-baked light makes his pale hair shine. The effect is even stronger because of his dark clothes. It's funny. At the same time his posture and movements are human, he's got this weird beauty to him, something about the lines of his body and his coloring that makes me feel covetous, like he's a piece of art I want on my wall. And now we're getting into the Hannibal section.
Now it's getting creepy.
It's exactly the kind of feeling that I have when I'm looking at beautiful artwork.
Now it's getting objectively creepy.
Yeah. Man, this is why we say man. This is exactly why I don't like temporary cityscape and nature installations. They vanish before you even have half a chance to really appreciate them.